It is a 2020 American science fiction action film directed by Joe Carnahan and written by Carnahan, Chris, and Eddie Borey, from a story by the Boreys. Imagine this. A man dies every single day, only to wake up and relive the same day over and over again. Trapped in a brutal time loop, he's killed by someone different each time, but always ends up right back where he started. Intrigued? Stick around as we dive into how he might break free in today's story. Meet Roy. He's lived the same day countless times. Every day, someone finds a way to kill him. If he escapes one, another gets him, and if by some miracle he dodges them all, the next threat is just around the corner. He's been killed so many times that he now knows who's coming for him, and exactly when. Every morning, Roy wakes up knowing a man is waiting to kill him. If he avoids that fate, a relentless shooter rains bullets on him. But Roy's been through this so often, he knows where every bullet will land. He expertly dodges them, throws a knife, takes out the gunman, and jumps onto a truck just before his flat explodes. But timing isn't always on his side. Sometimes, the truck runs him over. If Roy survives all that, a group of girls on the road will hit him and he's back to square one, reliving the same day. He's learned to kill them too, but the cycle doesn't stop. If he escapes the girls, a dwarf with a bomb is next. And if Roy survives that, a sword-wielding assassin is there to decapitate him. Every day, without fail, someone kills him. Roy's only hope is that one of these killers holds the key to breaking the loop. Desperate, Roy calls his wife for help, but her boss answers and delivers devastating news. His wife died in an accident the day before. Just as Roy processes this, he's blown up by a rocket launcher, and the day resets. Determined, Roy fights his way back to his favorite cafe, a place he's visited many times in this loop. There, he finds Dev, a security guy, and a mysterious girl with a Chinese sword. As Roy sits, he notices it's 12:47. The assassins arrive, and Roy is gunned down once more. But then we're taken back to the day before Roy's time loop began. His wife had called him to her company. While they talked, she secretly took his apple. Confused, Roy asked what was going on, but she was vague, mentioning a time machine she was working on for her boss, a machine with the power to alter time itself. Her boss was monitoring them, and he didn't want anyone to know about the project. He sent his men to kill Roy, knowing too much. Before Roy left, his wife whispered a mysterious word to him and mentioned a birthday gift she'd bought. Roy heads to a bar, where a girl flirts with him, but then his wife calls, needing his help with something big. Before they can talk, her boss cuts the line. Meanwhile, Roy's wife places his blood and DNA in the time machine. Her boss catches her on camera and sends his men to stop her. That's when Roy wakes up in the present, remembering his wife's birthday gift. He opens it to find a book with the words she whispered to him. Roy fights his way back to the cafe, kills the assassin, and tries to read the book. But he's interrupted by his son, who doesn't recognize him as his father. Roy spends time with him, but when they leave, he notices it's 12:50, the first time he's survived past 12:47. He realizes the assassins must be tracking him. But how? The next day, Roy kills his would-be assassin and demands to know where the tracker is, but he's killed before he gets an answer. Determined to find the tracker, Roy heads to his favorite cafe and checks his body and clothes in the washroom. Nothing. Frustrated, he meets his friend Shoaib, who tells him if you want to hide a tracker, put it in someone's teeth. Roy pulls out his teeth one by one until he finds the tracker in the second one. Just then, a sniper takes him out. The day resets, and Roy removes the tracker immediately, realizing it was planted by the girl who flirted with him earlier. All of this was orchestrated by his wife's boss. Roy uses the tracker to hunt down and kill the assassins one by one. He finds a phone belonging to one of them and contacts his wife's boss, vowing revenge. He drives straight to the lab, crashes into a wall, and is killed by security. The day resets again, and this time Roy rigs his car with explosives, blows up the security team, and takes down his doppelganger. But when he enters the lab, he's surrounded by guards. Roy shoots himself, resets the day, and tries again. This time he kills everyone with precision. But he faces his toughest opponent yet, the sword-wielding girl who has killed him countless times. They duel, and every time she overpowers him. But in one attempt, the boss captures Roy and reveals the truth. His wife's project, codenamed Size, was a time-altering machine. She secretly used it to try and stop her boss from taking over the world. Realizing he can't fight his way out, Roy decides to learn sword fighting. Every day in the time loop, he meets the girl at the cafe and asks her to train him. Despite her initial reluctance, Roy convinces her, and day by day he becomes a master swordsman. Finally, he's ready. In his next attempt, Roy kills everyone in the lab, defeats the sword girl, and confronts his wife's boss. Roy stabs the boss's right-hand man and stops the boss from grabbing a gun. The boss is shocked, realizing Roy must be stuck in a time loop to have become so skilled. He tries to bargain for his life, offering to spare Roy's son if he's let go. But Roy isn't buying it. He kills the boss, but when he reaches his son, it's too late. His son is already dead. Devastated, Roy gives up. He lets the assassins kill him day after day, losing all hope. But then, one day, while spending time with his son, the boy mentions he talked to his mom that morning. Roy is stunned. He thought his wife had died. Realizing she might still be alive, Roy springs into action. In his next attempt, he storms the lab, kills everyone, and reaches the security room. From the CCTV footage, he learns his wife is alive until 7:14 a.m. every day. Ecstatic, Roy resets the day, jumps into action, kills the gunman, takes control of the helicopter, and heads to his wife's lab. There, he takes out all the enemies, including his wife's boss, just in time to save her. Finally, all the mysteries are solved, and his wife tells him to enter the machine to escape the time loop. Roy steps into the machine, and the movie ends. We hope you liked this story, and if you liked the story, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment your recommendation for the next movie explanation. We will try to bring the same as soon as possible.